How was the off-season, Coach? You get to do any fishing?
Yeah, I did. My son actually went out this year, and he caught a marlin. So it was a successful trip.
Coach, what's the speed like in this room? I mean, how nice is it to have that much speed?
Man, we got a lot of nice tools going on in this room. You got speed, you got a combination of a variety of sizes, and you got some strength. Coach Wiley and his staff and Rachel did a great job with the summer development and transforming a lot of these guys' bodies, which as you guys get a chance to talk to them, you'll get to see firsthand. So, I mean, very excited about where we're at right now and in the direction that we're going.
Is there any extra motivation going into the new conference trying to improve you guys?
No, I think, each game that you play, I mean, regardless of who your opponent is, you're trying to prove yourself, and you're trying to play to the standard that we want to uphold and the tradition that have come before us with guys that have played that position.
Who's the guy that Jay bring to this receiver?
Obviously brings a lot of playing experience at his position here. He also, he's one of those guys that has some goodies and some speed behind him that I think he'll add value to the room as well.
How about Kyle?
Size-wise, he brings a lot of that back. It's been a pretty good transition having him back. It was surprising how much of the stuff that he remembered having previously been here. So it gives you, once again, some size, some speed out there with, much like Jay with some, significant amount of playing experience.
Coach Riley mentioned last week that he wants to get Zach a little bit more involved in the offense this year, not just special teams. What have you seen in his growth from last year, from year one to year two?
Just understanding coverages. Year one with a lot of those guys, him, Makai Lemon, Deuce, Jacoby, a lot of it was just, okay, this is my assignment, this is where I line up, and this is what I do. During the off season, we spent a lot of time in film study, so now it's not just knowing what their particular assignment is about, it's knowing conceptually what we're trying to do and what the complementary routes are going on around them is happening, as well as, kind of getting the idea of pre-snap coverage reads.
What's the chemistry been like in the room? Because you got like a core group of younger players and some veterans that have come in from other programs. How's everyone kind of work together?
Well, it seems like all of those guys kind of have a previous relationship with each other. So, I mean, the chemistry has been good. As you guys get a chance to get around them today, you'll see how silly they are and how well they hang out and enjoy each other's company. And I think it's brought a sense of healthy competition.
What's it like having Kyle Ford back?
It was one of those things that, wish he never would have left in the first place. So, when he decided to come back, it's been really like, hey, let's pick up where we left off. No, I mean, in life, everybody makes decisions and choices. We supported him when he made that choice on the first go round to leave, and supported him when he decided he wanted to come back.
What's the next step look like for a guy like Mike Jackson?
Hopefully he has a successful career there. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and hopefully he's able to accomplish all of his goals, obstacles, and dreams there.
Talk a little about Kyron Hudson. Didn't show up a ton in the stat sheet last year, but was a constant starter and a real pro at the college level. Just what his leadership is like with this group.
I mean, he is the leader of this group, and a lot of the things that he does is unselfish play. So, I mean, there'll be a lot of times in the screen game where he was, the point guy, blocking out there and making sure that, the screen runner was able to get some plays, as well as, Kyron's one of those guys that, he's kind of a quarterback's best friend. When you throw that ball out there, no matter how it's put out there, he's going to figure out a way to come down with it. So, I mean, if all of the guys, like I said, he kind of sets the tone in there. If all of the guys, continue to practice and play to the standard that he has, we'll have a pretty successful group.
This offseason felt a little different going into a different conference in the Big Ten than maybe last year.
No, I mean, once again, you prepare for whoever the opponent is each week. So, I mean, this offseason has been good because, you've gotten a chance to see guys, grow. So it's been good from that standpoint. But, as far as conference-wise or, opponent-wise, I mean, that has been the same. I mean, our first game is going to be a challenge, and it's going to be some where people are going to test us, and we're going to have to show who we are and what we're made of.
Dennis, you already have this core group of young guys who are poised to kind of take a step, next year. And then you guys bring in Jay, you guys bring in Kyle. So many just kind of options and weapons in this room. How do you guys just make sure to kind of keep chemistry, make sure that people don't get kind of worried about mouths getting fed, that sort of thing? Like, what is kind of the integrity in this group with that?
Well, I think our offense, if you have an idea of what it is, we're going to spread the ball out. So, I mean, if everybody's maximizing their opportunities and if everybody's doing their job, I think all of those questions get answered. And like I said, we have a collective group of very unselfish players, and they understand that it's only one ball, and it's only going to be in one guy's hand at a particular time. But that unselfish aspect of it is maximizing what we can and playing for each other and doing our job. And I think regardless of whether you're the person that's catching it and running it on a particular play, or you're the person that's blocking on that particular play, the play is successful. I think that embodies and oversees everything else, and I think all of them are happy.
Caleb obviously took pride in doing that and spreading the ball out a lot, and Miller's a guy who's obviously very methodical, analytical, can break down a various amount of things within a particular play. You look at him, do you feel like he is a guy who also kind of takes to spreading the ball out, getting guys involved, a variety of them involved? How do you feel like that compares?
Well, if you look at our last game that Miller started in, yep. I mean, the ball was spread around pretty equally, and we had success. At various times, each guy that had a chance to get the ball maximize their opportunity. So I think that, when we're doing that, our offense is clicking in full steam, and I think everybody's happy.
What was sorry if you got asked this, what was the goal with bringing in Kyle and Jay? What did you feel like they could add to this room in terms of depth, experience, speed, downfield threats, that sort of thing?
Well, I think all of the above. I think, each one of them have their own special skill set and trait. But, I mean, when you look at those guys' history, I mean, all of them, both of the guys that you mentioned, has had some success in games and had plenty of playing experience. So I think, obviously you're excited when you get that caliber of player that you can incorporate with the talent that you already have.
Funny to get Kyle back after, was across town and have him back. Is that a little bit of a funny thing?
We never really, like I mentioned earlier, it was never a situation where you wanted him to leave anyway. So, I mean, regardless of where he went to and that whole deal, I mean, it was when he decided he wanted to come back, we were all excited because we wanted to finish what we started with him.
Yeah.
Coach, you were moving to quarterbacks, Coach. Does your role change at all getting the inside wide receivers, or is that kind of just normal?
Well, yeah, it changes because, I mean, you add more bodies in your meeting room, and you have more bodies that you're trying to keep your eyes on a particular play. From a learning standpoint, from my situation, I mean, I've always had a healthy understanding of what all four receivers did on the field at a particular time.
You played the NCAA video game yet?
No, I have not. I'm not much of a video game guy. I've heard the players talk about it, but no, I have not got on the game personally and enjoyed that. I do hear, hey, Coach, this guy didn't look like me, and hey, why is my number not this? And I'm like, bro, I didn't make the game, so.
Let's talk about you.
All right.
Coach, can you mic, please? Thank you.
All right. We go from Dennis Simmons coaching wide receivers and tight ends, and we got Zach Hanson coming up. So we'll have him up here in a second.
Do we think those are real balloons or are they plastic?
Here, hold on. Let's see. Keely has a
God.
question.
Hello.
Are those real balloons?
Well, you got to point to the balloon.
Okay, hold on. I'll do that.
Are those real or plastic?
They
Put
look.
your guesses in, all 29 of you.
Yes, they look plastic to me. Are they balloons? I was wrong.
Oh, you know.
Did you guess plastic or balloon?
I thought they were plastic.
Yeah, I thought they were plastic too.
They're like too symmetrical.
Yeah. They're actual balloons. All right.
The more you know.
These are behind the scenes things you can't get anywhere else.
Inside scoop.
It's very important.
More on the balloons on Friday for the War Room.
All right, we got another tall guy coming up, so adjust your lenses. Yeah, to go from Luke Heward to Anthony Jones was a little bit different. How's it going? How was your off season?
Everything's been great, man. Excited to be back. Excited to be here. Obviously, that means fall camp is here, so it's an exciting time. And first off, just appreciate all you guys, man. All that you guys do for us, and helping our team just show up in a positive light. So I appreciate all you guys for that.
You're pretty loaded. How do you kind of work around that, getting everyone like touches and things like that?
Yeah, we have a lot of talent, right? I mean, we've recruited these guys to come here and be a part of this team. Obviously, we think that they have something that showed up that can put on the field. We have a lot of youth too, though, and having Lake McCree come back will be a huge deal for us. Obviously, a seasoned veteran, a guy that knows the ins and outs of the offense, is a great leader of our group, great leader on our team. But following him, you have a guy like Carson Tabaracci coming back, who's got a little bit under his belt now too, and then Walker Lyons, Walter Matthews, Cade. There's just a lot of really good talent in that group. So there is going to be a little bit of a challenge, obviously, to get these guys reps and meaningful reps and see what they can really do. But I think that's something that you just plan for as a coach, and you come into fall camp and let it rip when we get started.
What do you see in the back?
Yeah, Walter's a tremendous athlete. I think he jumped a 40-inch vertical when he got here. He ran a 1.5 10-yard split, which is freakish for a 6'7", 250-pound guy. So it'll be seeing what he can put together and take transition from the film room onto the field. How that processing is out on the field as well. But obviously all the physical tools are what we thought they were, and really exciting to see a player like him come to USC.
A younger group in here, but there's a lot of talent, obviously. How good do you think they can be?
I think they can be very good. They are young, but in this world of college football, it's just part of it. There's a lot of young players across the country that are playing, and I try to manage like a realistic expectation with those guys as well. Of this is kind of one of those positions a little different than receiver. It's kind of a blend between O-line and receiver. So, O and D line, you typically are waiting a year or 6 months or whatever it is to kind of develop your body, understanding you have to go block 280-pound DNs, and it's not just running routes. So, I try to build like a realistic expectation with those guys as well. But they've worked extremely hard, man. They've done everything that we've asked, everything it takes to be elite, they've done. And really have, starting with Lake, kind of taking over the group and just being the leader there. These guys, they don't show up on lists for anything. They're doing extra work in the weight room. I think they've gained 70-something pounds from January until now. So they're doing all the right things.
So what could be the biggest strength of this unit, do you think, this year? Is that route running, speed, size?
Yeah, I think from a physicality standpoint, I think we got some guys that can really run. I think it's the whole package, though. Overall, just the accountability of the group is going to show up. They're incredibly accountable. Like I said, they do all the right things. Like that shows up on game day, especially when you're expected to go out and kind of know the entire offense. You got to be in the run game, in the pass blocking game, in the route game. There's a lot on their plate, and so to have a really good, steady group of guys that are going to do the right things when you put out there, I think that's probably the most exciting thing.
What's the next step look like for the tight end position in this offense?
Yeah, I think, we're always trying to get on the field, no matter what it is. And, I think I've got a group of guys right now that are really hungry to do that. They always want to be a part of the passing game, obviously, and I always tell them we work at it every single day. You got to consistently show things on tape that show that you're going to be as effective or better than Zach Branch or Mekhi Lemon or Deuce or Jacoby, or we have to beat those guys out and show why we should be on the field instead of them. And so I think that's something that each of them are pushing for. I know obviously we're all pushing for it, and we want to be a bigger part. With that, the way we can separate ourselves from some of those other guys by being elite blockers too, and that really opens up the playbook. And so they've worked really hard at that throughout the summer. Again, just trying to change their bodies, gain weight, but good weight that they can still carry and run well with.
What have you seen from this defense maybe that gives you unique challenges as far as blocking goes for the tight ends that maybe was different from the last couple of years?
Yeah, no, Danton and those guys, man, have done a phenomenal job. They really kind of put you into some different binds, like fit-wise, which we all know from the UCLA game that we played against them. Schematically, I mean, Danton just does a great job, but they're great coaches, man. They really pushed our guys to attack and but also play sound ball. So just in regard to my guys' position, we've really had to get better at playing DNs that are trying to play right down the middle of us, and really try to challenge us physically, which has been great for us. That's what we need. That's what we're going to face in our upcoming games. So obviously tremendously excited about our defense. Can't wait to play against them in camp. That makes us better coaches, better players, and all the above.
Have you seen blocking improve just with you said they had a bunch of weight and stuff, bigger bodies, like that kind of help with the blocking?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think the bigger and stronger you get, obviously, the easier it is for our guys to kind of get a little bit of movement. But it's a technique and fundamental game, especially when you're a tight end. You're smaller than a lot of the DNs you're playing, so that's always a transition. Being an offensive line background, going to a tight end and being realistic about, okay, this guy's a 6'6", 275-pound DN. My tight end's 6'4", 6'5", about 250. He's probably not going to blow him off the ball and bury him every single play, So what are the fundamentals like? Is he getting his hat in the right spot, or his hands in good position, or his feet running, And so I use a lot of NFL clips and stuff like that, like Kittle and those type of guys, to show my guys like what it looks like. And I think that's helped a lot, man. Like, they've really improved at latching on and running their feet and finishing blocks, even if it's not perfect leverage, just being great finishers and being physical. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.